it really felt like the next thing could be our last thing. That was how blind we were and unsure about everything.
Going through something, I think, as traumatic as like 3 breakups, you just learn to really lean on one another and trust each other.
When you're in a band, you're with each other constantly, 24 hours a day, and you know these people more than anybody else you've ever known.
That was it. All right, next take. Okay. Still rolling. Let's go. Ready?
Trees grow where the ground's alright. Die old in the middle of the night. Roots of my hands to reach. Cut me down where the water meets the sea. And my eyes were the first to find 29 in the middle of the night. Words in my head to sleep. Keep me up until the body disagrees. 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 Your words are cold like the wind. They hold no weight around me. Let go, you're telling me to let go. I know the shadows are the only ones. I know the shadows are the only ones. Trees grow where the ground's alright. Die old in the middle of the night. Words in my head to sleep. Keep me up until the body disagrees. Keep me up until the body disagrees. Your words are cold like the wind. They hold no weight around me. Let go, you're telling me to let go. I know the shadows are the only ones. Your words are cold like the wind. They hold no weight around me. Let go, you're telling me to let go. I know the shadows are the only ones. I know it's home, I know it hurts. I know I'll end up at the bottom of your dirt. What if I leave, never become? What if the sea leads me straight to the sun? I know it's home, I know it hurts. I know I'll end up at the bottom of your dirt. What if I leave, never become? What if the sea leads me straight to the sun? Straight to the sun. Your words are cold like the wind. They hold no weight around me. Let go, you're telling me to let go. I know the shadows are the only ones. Your words are cold like the wind. They hold no weight around me. Let go, you're telling me to let go. I know the shadows are the only
Hi, we're Run River North, and this is our story.
I grew up playing piano from a young age, taking classical lessons, and I played up until junior high school, where I decided to defy my parents and not do it, and I naturally gravitated towards listening to a lot of music on the radio and just on whatever means I could find on CDs and making my own mixtapes on my Walkman. Yeah, I didn't really follow any line of work leading to being in a band until I met the band.
I started music when I was 4, playing the violin, and my parents wanted me to be professional, but all my friends were listening to like Jay-Z and Dr. Dre and Limp Bizkit, so I wanted to do that too. And so I rebelled in high school. I just stopped playing violin and, you know, wanted to be normal. And so I just focused in on school, got a job, and then I had to give that all up to do this. So it's funny how it kind of came full circle.
I did not grow up playing music. I watched The Lion King, and I thought that was really cool. And at church, I used to be the projection boy for the church slides before PowerPoint. And then, yeah, I just played guitar. I wanted to be like an Asian Jason Mraz, Jack Johnson, John Mayer. And then I realized I am not that good at that. And then graduated college, played open mics, worked at a talent agency, and then wanted to make some songs about my family and the immigrant story. And then I found a couple other Koreans and made the band. So I started writing songs about my family and had this whole idea about Monsters Calling Home being this kind of adult children's book, and I wanted to write the theme song for it. And that theme song turned out to be Monsters Calling Home, and I met 2 of the original members at church, and then the other 3 members was either through another band, or I think there's like a violin circle where Daniel found Jennifer for us. Yeah. None of us really knew each other, and so it was really through the band that we all became friends in the beginning. So.
They're walking heavy to the beat of a broken drum, digging for worth in a land under a foreign sun. Their children call bitter words of a strange tongue. Hearts down, they're walking heavy till the dying's done. Oh, 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 oh. See their heads, some hold the bottle, some hold bed. And in their eyes, a wave of light in a sea of black. Their voices low, trembling for blood to dream. And what they know of a deep that cries too deep in the night they call in the night, yes they call now. Calling home. No, they don't wanna be alone, but the closet they keep close, swallow the key so that nobody knows how they beat. Oh, stomping their feet, never letting up the ducks, choking up their lungs. Told to be a father, growing up into a fatherless son. Oh my son, won't you come? won't you come, won't you come? Son, oh my son, won't you come, won't you come? Oh, hear the monsters calling home. No, they don't want to be alone, but the closet they keep closed, swallow the key so nobody knows how they be.
Things happened really fast for us. In 2011, we formed the band to perform Alex's song, Monsters Calling Home, at Collaboration, but you know, we wanted to do a couple tune-up gigs. But after Collab, the response was unexpected. People still wanted to come to shows, so we started playing a lot of small gigs and selling those out, which got the attention of agents, and it quickly like morphed.
Yeah, and then while we were doing that, while we were playing gigs, we also wanted to just put up content online and kind of get in the habit of promoting our own songs. So we would record and then release a song and then try to make a music video. And then one of those music videos kind of we did in our Hondas, and there's this whole story about us getting surprised by Honda and then getting onto Jimmy Kimmel. And once we got on Kimmel, which, you know, just to say that as a band, it's such a great opportunity and doesn't happen to everybody. But after that, we got label opportunities and label talks and ended up signing with Network, getting really great opportunities right away. So we didn't have time to kind of think about, oh wow, we're so lucky. We're just like, okay, let's make the most of it.
Yeah, and then from that point on, we had signed with a label. We had found a group of managers to work with and to help like educate us on like what a band is supposed to do. And we played a gig at USC, and Alex and I were trying to take all the free like drinks and snacks from our green room earlier, like after we played our set. And then we ran into the lead singer of this band, Ann Berlin, and he was like, you guys are great, like let's keep in touch. And so we ended up going on tour with them. And that led into our first tour, and then right after we got back from tour, we were able to go fly up to Seattle and record our first album. So it was just kind of like...
That was like 2012?
12, yeah.
It's like 1 year, everything happened.
Yeah.
Spiders up the wall, up to the ceiling. I can't shake them off, 'cause no one sees them. Why the silly face when the room's so serious? No one's happy, it's never enough. It's just the way it is, just the way it is. It's just the way it is for now. It's just the way it is, just the way it is. It's just the way it is for now. Feel like I'm losing my head, caught up in the pieces don't seem to fit. Don't leave me in the middle of your web, spinning yeses and no. I can't make sense of what you don't even know. Just the way it is, just the way it is. It's just the way it is for now. It's just the way it is, just the way it is. It's just the way it is for now. I've been stuck like gum under the desk of a classroom I once slept in. just the way it is for now. Just the way it is, just the way it is. It's just the way it is for now. The basket was just too far. I think I'm going too far. Don't remember where I parked.
Hello, I'm Peter. I'm the owner of the new AT&T store located at 3419 West 6th Street in Koreatown, Los Angeles. We're here to serve our community's wireless, TV, and broadband needs. We invite you to come in, get to know us, to see what we have to offer. We have some great promotions, an array of phones, tablets, and services to choose from. At AT&T, we look forward to meeting you and providing you with excellent service. Thank you.
So after that, tour, after getting our album, getting our label thing done, we went to South by Southwest for the second time, and we were able to get on Seth Meyers. We got gigs to go to Japan and Korea to play for huge festivals, Summer Sonic and Pentaport. It was really surreal because around that time too, I was getting married. My mom had cancer. It was 2016. Some guy was getting into presidency. All that was happening, and I think within the band too, like when you're in a band, you're with each other constantly, 24 hours a day, because you're just traveling with the band and you know these people more than anybody else you've ever known. The tours weren't getting any bigger. Like the shows weren't getting bigger, the van wasn't getting any bigger, and I think these tensions were getting a little bit tough within the band. And people were having different ideas of what success was and where they wanted to go in their own lives. And so it all came to like a head and ended up with 3 people leaving the band in the course of a year, 2017. So the reason why I started the band and kind of what I think of as success for us constantly is that we're in the band together. That the 6 of us at the time, we were all Korean Americans. We didn't grow up as friends and none of us are related. So it was just random that we were all together, but somehow us being in a band and being a rock band and not some K-pop band in America, that was what was interesting. And I felt like as we were continuing to do that, no matter what venue or where we were, playing, that was success for us. And I felt like, people in the band were having different ideas of what success was supposed to be. And that's kind of where the tension was, where I thought just doing life together, it was drawing people to our band. It was drawing to us, not at maybe the pace that other people wanted in the band. And so I think that's where the tension was. And some people felt like if some people left in our band, that would happen quicker. And I think that was always a tough decision because in the band we always discussed that you wouldn't be allowed to kick anybody out, that people had to leave on their own volition, which is really ironic because before the band was cut in half, like I wanted to kick out both Sally and Daniel for different reasons. And, but the rule I had was I couldn't kick anybody out. So we had to like hash it out. And these 2 stuck around, and I felt like that spoke to, if you want this that bad, you're gonna fight me. You fight me for it, and if you win, then you're still here. So, I think that's what happened.
Run, river, run. Mother's calling heaven's son. From a storm, witches from the north, standing at the gates, quiet, unafraid. But one has come, one has your father's gone. He's weary from the road, wolves and the crow kept him at the gates with hands full of praise. But one has come, one has come, rushing like a spirit from a wineskin bag, settled by your sister like it's never going back. Mother's crying out with a different kind of sadness. Sam can't shoot between a promise and a habit. Run, river, run, out of dreams into the sun. Wake, river, wake, there's fire coursing through your blood. There's gold in your hair on silver linings. I know that they're scared or they're rushing to the wind, but you won't let them in. No, you won't let them in. Rushing like a spirit from a wineskin bag, settled by your sister with your heart in her hand. Love in your words, she'll learn her soul. I hear her laughing and it sounds like home. It sounds like home. Sounds like home. Sounds like home. Oh, rushing like a spirit from a wineskin bag, settled by your sister with your heart in her hand. Love in your words, she'll learn her soul. I hear her laughing and it sounds like home. Sounds like home. Sounds like home. Sounds like home. Mother's at peace, brothers in the crowd. Sam's asleep between his love and a garden now.
Losing 3 members was really tough. This was 2017. I remember sitting at my house in a circle, like wondering, what are we gonna do next? I think it's winter time. We had just like little sketches of songs, but nothing concrete. We decided to just keep going, but we didn't know that that would take 2 years. Like that was a 2-year long process. Throughout the next 2 years, there was always this like looming like figure over us that was like just waiting for the band to end. Like we just didn't know what was around the corner, but we just kept writing without a drummer, without a bassist. We had to like pick up new instruments, but it finally kind of clicked at South by Southwest again, because South by is kind of like this place where everyone's just competing against each other, just literally like on a noise level. Everyone's so loud, and you know, we show up without drums and bass, and it was really a make or break situation for us, but we made it through.
I think it was a point for us where having half the band gone, it kind of quieted everything. We were face to face with our thoughts, and you know, like Daniel said, like, can we keep doing this? And I think for me it was a place where I was able to learn. Maybe it's like I can try singing on this part, Daniel programming drums like for these songs. So it's like everyone was putting on different hats and figuring out what we can do to survive, and it turned into a natural like progression for us that we really enjoyed at the end.
And that was a breakthrough moment, because 2 EPs and a full album like just popped right out in a year just after that moment. So that was kind of a crucial moment for us. Yeah, I just remember like we were looking at each other and we had to just like, it was like we were in the dark, like blindfolded, just trying to move forward. And it really felt like the next thing could be our last thing. That was how blind we were and unsure about everything but we stuck it out, and
Yeah, and then that year, South by Southwest came, and we were up to the challenge of performing a full set every night with the three of us, and just really depending on not just like tracks in the background and someone like doing their part right, but I think just on each other, just our chemistry and the trust that we had built for so long, and like going through something I think as traumatic as like 3 breakups, you know, it's like you just learn to really lean on one another and trust each other and see there is a light of many songs and albums and EPs after, so yeah.
Was it Tuesday in the summer when you started sleeping on my couch? And I lost track of the details of what is and what isn't allowed. Midnight in the cemetery. This day started ordinary, but now I'm wishing I could slow the whole world down. Oh, is it crazy if we stay here all night long? Oh, everybody needs a way to hold on just a little bit, just a little bit longer, just a little bit, just a little bit longer. Hesitating with commitment out of fear that we may break the spell. Good intentions, empty-handed. It's a feeling that we both know too well. Midnight in the cemetery. This day started ordinary, but now I'm wishing I could slow the whole world down. Oh, is it crazy if we stay here all night long? Oh, everybody needs a way to hold on just a little bit, just a little bit longer, just a little bit, just a little bit longer. Just a little bit, just a little bit longer, just a little bit, just a little bit longer, just a little bit, just a little bit longer. Sunrise in the cemetery. Last night started ordinary. Somehow I wish I could slow the whole world down.
I think from everything that's happened back then till now, the biggest thing that I've learned is just really not boxing yourself into just one thing that you're comfortable with and that you know really well, but being open to learning just anything and not being ashamed or like afraid of starting at the bottom. But I think there's a lot you can learn from starting over, I guess. And I think during this whole season of COVID, everyone sort of had to do that, just people who are in bands and artists. And yeah, we've had to put on different hats and figure out what we can do to keep our music going and keep just fans interested. So
not just during this time in pandemic, but just in general, it's important to not look at your present circumstances with disgust. This pandemic kind of equaled the playing field for not just us, but for every single band. And so, like, I think that lesson applies to us because, yeah, we have to adjust. And what we did was we just looked at our fans. We reached out to our fans and said, hey, can you know, we'll do this for you, support us on Patreon. And to our surprise, they've stepped up so much. Like, we wouldn't have known how much they meant to us, and the other way around. COVID kind of forced us to turn to Patreon, but what we were blown away by was their support, not just financially, but like their community. And I think that for us gives us even a bigger reason to continue, or a bigger reason and meaning behind our music. That was truly amazing.
If there was something I could say to myself and us as a band when everyone left the band and it was just the three of us, or something that I tell myself even now, is that as you're thinking about, you know, the future and how to drive yourself to future successes, I think if you're never looking in the present moment, you're never going to be happy, even if you do get those things, and especially if you don't get those things. So I think to kind of balance that out and always be striving for something that will never satisfy, find what makes you happy now, what kind of makes you feel alive now, and celebrate that. And then create art based around that as well, so that, you know, you could feel good and be happy and content in the present, and that'll kind of just bleed into the future, as opposed to just, like we always said in our tour, that like we always looked at the people at our shows and then always looked right above their heads and then thought like, oh, the room should be bigger, or this should be Coachella, or we could be there. And whether it was COVID or whatever, this made us, even before COVID, we just realized like there are fans right in front of us, and they got babysitters, they traveled really far, they got in a fight with their significant other, they've saved money to come see us, and who are we to like look beyond them to something that's never gonna satisfy? And can we focus on the people in front of us? And through Patreon and through just being present, we've found that these are the people that we want to write songs for, and they do appreciate, and we appreciate. And this relationship that we've been having recently with Patreon and our fans has been really keeping us grounded and making us inspired to write more, but also just enjoying the stuff that we put out now, as opposed to like, oh, this isn't enough, like this didn't get us somewhere else, like this got us this now. So I think as a band of, you know, Korean Americans, and then even with our new friends Fair and Andy, we've just found people that we get along with because we've gone through a couple. And I think advice that we can give other artists and other musicians is find people that you want to do life with. Not just like, oh, he's the best or she's the most driven. That only gets you so far, and then I feel like the tank runs empty quicker that way, because you'll get to efficient art making, and then after it's all done, you're just left with each other. And if you don't like hanging out with each other, and it's really difficult to keep making good music or good art from there. So I would say advice is just to be a person that other people want to hang out with, and find other people that do the same thing, that want to be good people first. And that's not a dig to anybody prior. That's something that I always tell myself too. Like, it's hard to do that constantly. So, and then from there, I think everything else just comes out of a good, better place that way.
We just want to thank you guys for watching and listening. We got a full-length album coming out in 2021, early 2021. And yeah, follow us at Run River North on Instagram, Twitter, and thank you, Character Media, for putting this on.
There's a fight to be won for the love you find at home. There is work to be done before you rest your weary bones. Finding peace don't come to everyone I know, so I will love in this life till I finally have to go. Oh, I will love in this life till I finally have to go. Well, I know I have lived just a wrinkle of my life, and I hear so many times it'll be over when I blink twice. So please forgive if I don't walk off that plank stuck in your eye. I've got my life to love, and I'm here to take what's mine. I've got my life to love, and I'm here to take what's mine.